Welcome to Learn with Amine. Today I'll be talking about how to submit the recommendation letters to Hamad Bin Khalifa University. So we are very close to the application deadline for Hamad Bin Khalifa University admission and scholarship. So I want to motivate you guys so that you can fill your application and also submit the recommendation letters. So if you can see, these are the ranks that you obtain after the graduation, and this one is a master's ring, and this was given by Hamad Bin Khalifa University. It is made up of white gold, and on the back of it is the year when you have graduated. So if you graduate from HBKU or any international university, if you get a PhD, you get a ring and you can wear it the whole of your life. And this is like a PhD degree, a ring from Texas A&M University. It has the year engraved, and also on the back of it your name is engraved. So let's get back to the topic on how to submit the recommendation letter. Let's get into it right away. When you are applying to a scholarship and admission, you cannot overlook any part of the application, and recommendation letters are must when you are applying to any international university or for scholarship. Now, as you know from my previous videos, Hamad Bin Khalifa University offer fully funded scholarships and a very good stipend for bachelor, masters and PhD. If you have not watched that video, then I will add a card to the top right of the video and you can watch it for the scholarship details. Now let us see how to submit the recommendation letters. HBKU has switched to an online system of submission of the recommendation letters directly from the referrers. They are supposed to submit the recommendation letter directly to the university and through online process rather than emailing or sending a mail or courier. Let's look at the guidelines regarding the recommenders. At least 2 recommenders are required, and they should be belonging to a position higher than you and can evaluate your achievements. It means that you cannot provide the names of your peers, colleagues or students as recommenders, and you can't even provide the names of your seniors as recommenders. They should belong to a position in which they can evaluate your achievements. So it must be professors, faculty members, lecturers or work managers. So those are important points to remember regarding recommenders. And if you are applying for masters or PhD application into HBKU, then it is preferred that the recommenders should be faculty from the graduate school. But if you have already graduated from your bachelor's and it was very long ago, and since then you have been working in a company and you cannot get back to your college or professors, you cannot reach out to them, maybe because they moved, then in such cases you can provide the names and the contact information of your work managers or employer. This is not preferred, but if you have graduated a long time ago, then you can provide this. So consider it as a backup option for masters and PhD application. Now if you are applying for bachelor's application, there is no chance of a gap, so you need to provide the recommendation letters or recommender name as school counselor and maths or science teachers from your school. So these are the basic guidelines. Now looking at the application form, you can see that there is no placeholder to attach the recommendation letters. So this was possible after the move of HBKU to online recommendation system. So currently they are not accepting the letters from the students directly. They want the students to provide the details of the recommenders or referrers so that they can send information of submission directly to the recommenders. So in the application form you might see recommendation request, but it also says that there are currently no recommendation request associated with this application. Now you might be dubious or doubtful whether to submit the application or not. So please remember that after you have completed all the required fields in the application form, then you can submit your application form. You would be communicated with a link to provide the names and details of the recommenders through email, or there would be a link provided in the section under recommendation requests. So once you have received that link from the college to provide your names and details of the recommenders, then you can go onto that page, and it basically looks like this. So the HBKU system is continuously evolving over the years, so the interface might look differently, but basically it is going to ask you for the recommender name and the recommender email, and also there is a space provided to include a personal note in the notification email that is delivered to the recommenders. As you can see here, also you can request a recommendation from a recommender. So you can write an appeal to the recommender to provide the recommendation, but it should not come as a surprise to the recommenders that you have asked recommendation from them. I would suggest you to reach out to the recommenders beforehand, request them for the recommendation to Hamad Bin Khalifa University, also specify the program that you are applying in, and ask them to provide a high recommendation. So when you are applying to international universities and for scholarships, you would want the recommendation to come very highly of you. So I would request you to approach those professors who know you closely, who know your work, who know your achievements, and who know you as a person, and please ask them to provide a very high recommendation, because if it is a very nominal recommendation, that would not do you much benefit. But if the recommendation letter talks of you very highly and truly, then it would surely help your application. And if the recommender is a very famous scientist, then it would definitely help your application. I receive a lot of questions whether the recommendation can be from an assistant professor or a lecturer. You can provide recommendation from any of a person who is in a position that can evaluate your performance, but I would recommend you to give emails and name of person in a very high position that can give you a high recommendation for your case. So you will be providing the contact information of 2 referrers or recommenders. So that would be name, email, and once again a personal note. After that, the university sends out a link to the recommender's email, and they are supposed to fill an online form, and apart from this they are also required to attach the recommendation letter. So when you meet your professors to provide you a recommendation, you should also write a recommendation letter and take a printout to them so that they can sign the document. And after they have signed the document, you can scan the document and provide a copy to the recommenders to attach when they are filling the online form. So please remember that you require the recommendation letter that is signed. Apart from this, the recommenders are supposed to submit the online form as well. So the online form will basically have the name of the program. So it is important that you communicate your full name to the recommender and also the program name. Sometimes professors know you by face and not by name, so make sure that they have the correct spelling of your name and also the name of the program that you are applying for. And here is the last name and the first name for the applicant. They also fill the referee details or the recommender details such as last name, first name. They also fill in the organization they belong to, the position, and the email ID. Then they are provided with some questions regarding evaluation of your performance and skills. All of this is happening in the online form that has been communicated from the university to the recommender's email after they have clicked on it. So when they are filling it, you will not be present with your recommender and they are going to fill these details. So when I asked you to request them to recommend you highly, they are supposed to fill in this as excellent. And this is one point, and the other point is the recommendation letter that you have drafted should talk highly of yourself. And then please indicate your overall recommendation for the candidate. So here, as you can see, this is the option of highly recommended. So if the recommender selects highly recommended and excellent for all of your abilities, that would help your application. And if we circle back to all the tasks that is required by the recommenders, is they need to fill in online questions regarding applicant and also regarding themselves. Then they are supposed to rate the applicant's skills, past performance through the online form, and finally elect their recommendation, whether it is highly recommended or not. As you can see, there are multiple categories of recommendations. So this is just recommended, this is highly recommended, this is recommended with some reservations, and this is not recommended. Once that is done, they are also supposed to attach the signed recommendation letter at provided placeholder. So they will be provided with a placeholder if they can attach additional information or the recommendation letter, so they can attach the signed recommendation letter. Now please remember that students cannot have access to the above form. The part of the students is to communicate to HBKU the names and the emails and the contact information of the recommenders. And before doing that, you are supposed to approach the recommenders and request them to talk highly of you. And after this is done, you are supposed to get the recommendation letter signed by the recommenders and provide a soft copy to the recommenders as well. So these are the tasks that needs to be done by the students. Now let's take a look at the sample recommendation letter. I'll be talking you the general criteria that need to be mentioned in the recommendation letter. So first of all, please remember that the recommendation letter should mention your full name. It should also mention the name of the university, that is Hamad Bin Khalifa University. It should also mention your program name, because the HBKU wants to know that you got this recommendation letter for their college. It should not be very general. Let me show you the recommendation letter. So this is supposed to be on a letterhead. It should have all the contact details of the university department. It should have the contact details of the professor. It should have a signature of the professor as well. And you are supposed to get the letter signed from people above you who can evaluate your performance. Basically, if you have completed your master's, you need to provide the advisor recommendation letter under whose guidance you completed the senior project. I have masked the content, but now I'm going to talk about the content so that you can write that letter personally based on the achievements of you. Basically, when I provided the recommendation letter, and as you can see, it consisted of 2 pages, but I would recommend you to provide a recommendation letter that has only 1 page and that is signed by your professor. The first paragraph is talking about the professor making an appeal of high recommendation for the student and how the recommender knows the student and what are the general idea of the recommender of the student, like what is the opinion, whether he was attentive, studious, articulate, problem solver, positive attitude towards study and learning. So all these factors are mentioned in the first paragraph. And regarding the second paragraph, again it's talking about the consistent performance and could not turn down the request for recommendation, ability to produce results, impressive results, high sensitivity to moral ethical issues, so and so. So all that is talked in the second paragraph, and the third paragraph is talking about the final year project of the student, and what topic it was on, and what was the innovation in that senior project, and what was the outcome of the senior project. Was there a research paper or not? So this is all talked about in the third paragraph, and how it is related to the professor who is recommending the student. So was he involved in the committee members, or was he the advisor of the project? So all of that is talked in the third paragraph. In the fourth paragraph, it is talking about the technical extracurricular activities done by the student, that the student was part of IEEE. He contributed to the society by being a treasurer, how he interacted with various students, how he worked towards the development of technical symposium, and how he participated in multiple coding competitions representing the college. So all of these are mentioned in the fourth paragraph, and that the recommender has seen it. And fifth paragraph is generally making an appeal of high recommendation, and that the student requires a scholarship because of his financial background, and how he can be a great asset to the program, and specify the program name and also the college name. So all of this is required in the letter of recommendation. You can mention the program and college name in the first paragraph also. So this is how the letter of recommendation is presented, and this is just the interaction of a student with one professor. Now when you are writing a letter of recommendation for the second professor, then you should have like similar aspects, but it should not be same. So first paragraph making an appeal, fifth paragraph making an appeal, but that person might have different opinion of you in terms of your skills, your studiousness, focus, attention, or state of the art work, innovation, problem solving. So those kind of things will change because it's a second person having a different perspective of you, and how he knows you would also be different. And the same is reflected in paragraph 2 as well. And in paragraph 3 and 4, so 3 will talk about your technical skills. Maybe you were not involved with that professor in the final year project, but involved in some coursework or some other international competition under this professor. Maybe you participated in the development of a car for sustainability competition nationally under the second recommender's guidance. So you can talk about that project and how the student worked for the development of the prototype of the car and so on. So you could do that. And the fourth one is again talking about the extracurricular activities. So all of this is written in letter of recommendation. Make sure that it is one page. Get it done on a official letterhead. Get it signed. Share a scan or a soft copy with your recommender so that he can attach in the online system. So if you have any other question, you can comment down below. I hope this video was helpful, so please like, share and subscribe.